Good morning and a warm welcome to everybody. My name is Marilyn Kisnasamy and I will be your facilitator today. It is my pleasure to guide you all through our unit standard 110003, which is develop administrative procedures in a selected organization. Okay, this unit standard forms part of the Smart Office program. Okay, so as we go through this program or the content today, we'll cover everything from the importance of sound administrative procedures to practical methods for creating systems that are both effective and sustainable. Okay, by the end of the session, you will be able to have the necessary tools and knowledge to confidently create administrative procedures that are not only support of your organization's operations, but will also contribute to the overall success. Okay, so I encourage you all to actively engage throughout the session, excuse me, by asking questions and also sharing your experiences. After each slide, I will pause for a few minutes or a few moments to open up the floor to any questions or any points that need any clarity. Okay, so after each lesson plan, we have 3 lesson plans in this, which I will go through with you shortly. We will maybe just stop for a quick comfort break for about 10 minutes. There is quite a bit of content that we're going to be going through today. So I'd rather have everybody fresh and ready to continue. Yeah, so without further ado, I'd like to get started. And once again, thank you for joining us today. Okay, so as mentioned, the lesson plans that we will be going through today are 3. We've got lesson plan 1, which is demonstrate an understanding of administrative systems required. Lesson plan 2 is develop and update administrative systems in a specific environment, business environment. And then you have lesson plan 3, which is forms, policies, and guides. So when we look at lesson plan 1, if we look at the assessment criteria, which forms part of this module, we look at the assessment criteria, which is a list of all administrative systems required in a selected business environment, is compiled including client filing systems, staff administrative systems, and business systems. The elements and usage of each system is described in relation to company and legal requirements. Resources such as staff, information technology, office space, and management requirements for the development of these administrative systems are listed, and ways of finding these resources are identified in a specific business institution. So if we get straight into it, we are looking at administrative systems, okay? Introduction, it's basically the importance or introduction to what administrative systems are. We're diving into a crucial yet often overlooked aspect of running a successful business, okay? So if we look at, for example, a law firm, administrative systems are really important. Okay, think of your administration as the backbone of your law firm. And when I say that, it's because it's the system of checks and balances that keeps everything organized, efficient, and professional. Okay, think about it, without any system, a proper system in place, then there will be no control over, documentation, client information, etc. And there basically will be a lack of control. Here's a simple way we can think about it. Okay, good organization equals efficient, professional, and cost-effective service. Okay, poor organization means slower, less professional, and more expensive service, right? What are administrative systems? Administrative systems are a step-by-step procedure that ensures your business, or in this case, as the example, your law firm operates smoothly. These systems are not just about doing things right, but doing them on time and in the right way. They're an essential part of your internal control system and support your businesses or your law firm's policies and plans. Okay, so you can see overall, it is really important that you are organized and there's efficiency in the way you have your administrative systems in place. Are there any questions on this slide deck? Or slide 1? Okay, thank you. If we move on to client filing system, as I mentioned, for example, we're using the law firm as the example in this in our learner guides. You have to have a proper system in place. You have to manage your client's information. Okay, this system organizes and manages client information, making it easily accessible, and easy to use. Um, what would you say a good, client filing system, how can it be good for your organization? Okay. So what it does is, you can save time. So clients can, if you have a proper system, clients can access their own information. Okay. You can have, provide them with important, useful information. You save time. On website development, etc. So what it is that overall you're saving money. You manage your files internally instead of outsourcing web services, and also you're just making sure that everything is isolated into one area where both the company or the law firm can easily update and your client can have access to that information as well. And it's good selling or marketing point for your clients because it's considered as a value added to this to the services that they're receiving. Is there any comments, clarity needed for client filing system? Okay, we're gonna jump through to staff administration system. Okay, so you find that there's a lot of companies that have they have personnel or staff like an employee system, so meaning that all the employees information is housed on like a cloud platform or a software where it's just easy to access without having to go through hard copies in a filing cabinet. Okay, so staff administration system, what is this? It's a system that handles all aspects of managing your team. Okay, from hiring to payroll. It's designed to simplify staff-related processes whilst ensuring compliance with laws and internal policies. So in South Africa, we have many laws that govern how we hire employees. So when you have a staff administration system, it's most of the systems are equipped to ensure that we are meeting, employment equity, skills development levies are deducted or are allocated, etc. All the necessary SARS-related taxes are in place. So a lot of the systems actually have that already in place. And then it just makes it easy to use without having to worry about, okay, did I deduct UIF from an employee? Everything is built into that. So key features, if you look at, a staff administration system, you've got a centralized employee record that links all staff related data. Okay, so it's in, as I said, it's one isolated area. You've got the payroll module, which automates your salary calculations and your payments. Excuse me. You have your leave module where it tracks all your staff, annual leave, sick leave, family responsibility. So all leave types are recorded there as well. Then you also have your tax requirements. Those are, as I said, your SARS, your PAYE, you've got your skills development levy, all of that, so that you ensure that you're compliant with legal obligations, for example, with SARS. And then you also have modules relating to your health insurance. So companies that offer health insurance or medical aid, it manages all your staff healthcare in one platform as well. And then some companies offer loans and liabilities. So what this does is it actually tracks all your employee loans and financial responsibilities. So if there's any garnishee orders, etc., those are already, you can just, equip the system or you let the system know that you have to deduct that. And then every month it'll be a recurring deduction of that without you having to manually go in every month to ensure that those employees get deducted. In training module For example, people that go on any forms of training, learnerships, internships, if there's any bursaries, etc., all of that is recorded on your staff administrative system. So you can see that this is one central point for an employee, and everything that deals with that employee within that organization is recorded on the system. And in cost center modules, you have it tracks how resources are allocated within your organization. Okay, so an employee is a resource. So you have various departments in an organization. Every employee is allocated to a cost center. So from a payroll perspective, or from a company, just a company as an overall perspective, if they want to look at how many people, or what's the budgets or financial impact on each cost center, the system is able to also allow you to pull out that sort of specific data. Why is this? Why would you say that a system administrative, staff administrative system is important? Okay, it's efficiency. It's adding value, adding an employee to the system automatically, and updates all related modules, allowing you to save time. Accuracy, you have real-time data checks, and then you also ensure that records are valid and consistent, because you're constantly updating the system. And if anybody that has access or have rights to access information, when they're pulling out data, they're pulling out accurate data. Okay, and then ease of use. So it's basically it has simple menus. It's very simple to use. It's the way these systems are designed nowadays is very user friendly, even for a non-technical person. It's easy to navigate, easy to see what sort of information you're needing, and that you're able to pull out without any hassles. Okay, and if you think about it as overall, having a staff administrative system in an organization is just it saves costs for the company, because you have certain amounts of allocated resources manning the system. Normally you have the HR department in collaboration with your payroll team that houses or has access to this information. Payroll team will mostly have the payroll rights with salaries, etc. And also, if you look at it overall, you have better compliance. So it's ensuring that you meet all your legal and professional standards within the country. So within South Africa, we are ensuring that everything that needs to be recorded or updated every month, quarterly, yearly, half yearly, is all done with ease. A lot of these systems as well automatically sends the information directly through to like UIF, directly through to SARS. Those are all linked. So you can see overall having a staff administrative system is an ideal for an organization, and it's very useful as well.
Hi, Marilyn.
Are there any questions? I did see some hands up. Are there any questions regarding the staff administrative system?
Hi, Marilyn. Can you hear me? Hello?
Okay, thank you. We can
Marilyn,
move
can you hear
on
me?
to our next slide. This is
Hello,
just
Marilyn?
going through the same information regarding staff administrative systems. So again, talking about payroll, personnel information, user-friendly design, and benefits. When we look at the personnel module, okay, this is now specific to staff-related information, so specific to your employees. We have the purpose of it is to maintain static staff records.
Hi,
okay, so
Marilyn.
that is, if we go through it, it's your employee name, number, your employee's address, religion, gender, marital status, nationality, joining date, position, department, qualification, passport and resident detail, permit details, and then civil card details doesn't really matter. And this is just to make sure that when we are reporting on all of our employees, we have all the accurate data. I'll give you an example. When we talk about reporting information, every year the organizations have to report to For example, the Department of Labor, Unemployment Equity, basically telling the Department of Labor all the employees that we have in our organization, whether we are hiring from, designated, non-designated groups in line with the Employment Equity Act. So when an employee joins a company, it is very important that we get all the correct information in the beginning. So just to continue on that information, the features of the personnel module in a staff administrative system, it ensures that you have, an employee register, you have a department register. So for each cost center or department in an organization, you know exactly who's in that department. We understand, exactly what sort of role they fulfill, and we ensure that they are allocated to the right, for example, salary bracket, all of that. So all that information is housed in this module. Okay. You have professional details as well of the employee. So when you hire the person or you're allocating them into the system, you are putting in their information, current, qualifications, etc., because this also helps when we are doing succession planning, or we need to do further training and development, etc. We have that information in place. Okay, and you'll find that all this information here is password protected. So in a staff administrative system, you have specific
There's someone with a question.
How can I say, it's allowance for people to access the system or access specific modules that will allow you to input. Sorry, I'm seeing a few hands up. I can't see who it is though. Sorry, who has a question?
Hi, Marilyn, can you hear me?
Is it Ashmika? Do you have a question?
Marilyn, there's someone that's trying to ask a question. Can you hear us?
Hi, sorry.
Marilyn,
does somebody have a question?
Hi, can you hear us?
Can we
Let's look at your chat.
Okay, I think that people have questions, but you can't hear me. Just give me one moment.
Hi, can anyone hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you again.
Okay, I think Marilyn can't hear me, but
Hi. Hello.
It seems Madeline can't hear anyone.
Oh.
and I don't think she's reading my messages as well. Can everyone see my message?
Yes, we can.
Okay, because I'm trying to get her attention.
Hi, everybody. Apologies for the technical difficulty. I can hear you all now. Apologies for that. Okay, sorry. Can we get into some questions? Apologies for that. And I don't mind just going back a few slides if your question relates to the previous slides. Okay. Who has
Hi,
a question?
Marilyn, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Just check with Bright because his hand has been raised for a long time.
Okay, thank you for that, again. Bright, do you want to go for it? I'm just going to share my screen again.
No, I'm covered now.
Are you covered?
Thanks.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. There was, I think it was Ashmika that had a question.
I'm good. I was just trying to get your attention.
No worries. I'm so sorry about that. Thank you, everybody, for that. Okay.
Hi, man.
Hi.
Ante ku ka ha ri na nyama ya homu kwalano na nga ka a yi ri koho a yi humese ni ta fika ni oxa loko ni vuya ni tiva a ku ri timbirhi.
Okay, I think that was not a question for me. Okay. So if there's no further questions right now, I'm going to continue. And again, apologies for the for the technical difficulties. Thankfully, I have my cell phone near
Excuse me, madam.
Yes, yes.
Can I just ask that if there is no questions, that the audience can please mute themselves?
Yes, sure. We have muted everybody. So right now, everybody has been muted, and I think I'm the only one that's unmuted. Yes. Okay. Perfect. So we were on the personnel module. And what can you, okay, sorry, I just lost my train of thought there. Are there any questions, sorry, on the personnel module? So I've gone through that, but we spoke about the data protection, how it's important to ensure that there is a password required or needed to view details of protected staff. Again, I want to just reiterate, this sort of information or access is only available to certain people within, for example, the finance team, payroll departments, and HR department. It's not really accessible to all employees. Are there any questions on the personnel module? Okay, thank you. So we're moving on to business information systems. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a bit of an overview on this. Okay, so the personnel module was just one of the examples of how business information systems can support for example, your law firm, as mentioned in your learner guide, or your organization. Okay, but let's look at a bigger picture of this. Functional business information systems can assist an organization in the following areas here. So if we look at marketing, you have systems to manage campaigns, customer data, databases, and you have a feedback mechanism in that's built in. So if there's any, if basically asking for like a survey, etc., on your experience dealing with the company or that department, you can easily access that or use it from the system. Okay, you have production or operations tools. These are tools to streamline your workflows. You have scheduling tools that's built in, and there's also a quality control tool that's built into these systems. You also have accounting and finance. So these accounting and finance systems, they handle all your budgeting, payroll, and expense tracking. It also makes it, you can see that it's not just specific to your personnel module. The system or staff administrative system overall helps you to link all the other important aspects of your business into one. And then you also have your human resources module. Okay, so again, it's your staff information system, and it's one centralized employee data, and it's to ensure a streamlined HR process. Okay. Are there any questions regarding business information systems? So if we go through it more in detail, we're going to go specifically into each system now. We're looking at marketing information systems. Okay, so what is a marketing information system, or also known as the abbreviation MIS? Okay, so this is a marketing information system is a tool that helps organize information, and it helps to manage and analyze the workflow of information for various marketing activities. Okay, so again, specific to marketing, it ensures that your marketing efforts are data-driven, efficient, and customer-focused. So again, the system is designed specific to your organization, allowing it to function specifically based on the needs of your business from a marketing perspective. Okay, so if you look at your key functions of a marketing information system, you've got integration information flows. It's basically ensuring that your marketing information system brings together data from different marketing activities. It makes it easier to access, analyze, and use for decision making. It enables you to access the internet, websites and services that are modern and in line with up-to-date marketing ideas, etc. It also has the platforms to allow you to to get your customers involved. Okay, so you have creating products, you're marketing through sharing feedback and reviews. So this also allows you to, get feedback from your clients or get ideas from your clients, because they are the ones that are using your systems, and you can get that information from them directly through the system, if that makes sense. Okay. And then it also, the key features of a marketing information system, you have purchasing personalized online shopping experiences. So if you are in a business that's offering online, if you're selling clothing online, or you're selling technology stuff online, it allows for a specific experience for your customers. And then it allows you to improve products by contributing to, insights and suggestions. So you can see, even though it just sounds like a simple system, it actually has quite a lot that it could, do to help your organization, and just to improve all the systems, your marketing strategies, etc. Are there any questions in relation to marketing information system? I just want to also touch on the Salesforce automation. So Salesforce automation is also another critical part of marketing. Okay. Salesforce automation is, it uses mobile computing data and internet technologies to automate your sales. So if you look at, as an example, I'm going to think of, let's look at PayPal. PayPal would be considered as a form of Salesforce automation. So it's a payment system that allows you to, make payment directly through like international companies, etc. But it's a very specific system, so it's safe, and there's a lot of how can I say, data in that system to allow you to ensure a smooth, secure transaction. It also, the key benefits of it is, it automates routine tasks like your data entry, your order tracking, and customer communication. That system will also ensure that it houses all those transactions that's needed there. It also improves your sales management. It provides you tools for tracking performance, setting targets, and managing your customer relationships. And you also have real-time updates. So what that means is that your sales teams can access and update customer data from anywhere. And that also improves your responsiveness to your clients' requests, etc. Okay. Are there any questions regarding marketing information systems and Salesforce automation? Okay, I'm going to go on to the next slide, which is other administrative systems. Okay, so if you're looking at other administrative systems, it's specialized roles in your system administration. Okay, so in larger organizations, you would find that system administration responsibility are often divided amongst specialized roles. Okay, so you have various departments that will have, for example, computer support department, or you have, your information services. They are specific to that information because it's a larger organization. In smaller organizations, a single individual or few various administrators might handle these tasks collectively. So there's no need to have separate departments on it. You have just a few people that collaborate and work on these together. Okay, if we're going to look at the specialized roles and the key functions of other administrative processes or administrative systems, you're looking at a data administrator. So a data administrator is, they maintain and manage a database system. And they're responsible to ensure that there's data integrity, which is ensuring that there's accuracy and consistency of that data. Okay, and they ensure that they optimize the efficiency and performance of that database system. For example, if you have in a law firm, you have client records, as an example, as mentioned earlier, this person would be responsible to make sure that that information in the database is accurate, secure, and quickly accessible when you need to access client data. Okay. Then you have what is known as a network administrator. They oversee the organization's network infrastructure. They maintain hardware like the switches and the routers. They diagnose network problems affecting, the devices that are connected. For example, they would also troubleshoot internet connectivity issues to ensure that operations keep running smoothly. Then you have what is known as a security administrator. The security administrator focuses on computer and network security, okay? So they specialize in that. So computer and network security, they are responsible for ensuring that the security devices have, for example, firewalls, for malicious malware, etc. And they also consult on general security measures to protect against any form of cyber threats. And that's quite a big thing in organizations, whether you're a small organization, a big organization, it's a very real issue that companies do face, organizations do face. So for a security administrator, they ensure that the organization client's data also remains protected and protected from unauthorized access. So you can see that that role is also quite important in this. If we look at a web administrator, the role of a web administrator is to ensure that they manage the web server services, okay? They also are responsible for maintaining internal and external websites. They administer website security, and they also ensure that they configure software and they manage all the updates within, the area of control. Okay. They also ensure that the organization's website is secure, updated, and accessible to clients. So you can see they have a very specific role that they have to ensure they are updating all the time, etc. in terms of their website. Then you have a technical support staff. Technical support staff provides assistance to individual users experiencing technical difficulties. So in organizations, if you look at a large organization that have, for example, a call center, they have people that are constantly on the dialer and using their computers. And with that, you would have quite a few of technical issues that may arise throughout that person's day. So a technical support staff is there basically on call to ensure that if there are any issues pertaining to that employee, ability to fulfill their job role at that point, they are there to go and help them to fix any system issues, etc. They also are responsible for troubleshooting common computer problems. They also provide instructions and training when necessary. And as I said, they just ensure that they assist employees in resolving also, for example, email issues and recovering lost files. A computer operator. Okay, so a computer operator handles routine maintenance and the upkeep of computer systems. They're also responsible for backup, backing up information and making sure if there's any failed hardware components like hard drives, etc. They are responsible for making sure all of that stuff has been either replaced or fixed, etc. They also work physically in the server room to ensure that systems run smoothly. So this person is also in charge of the servers within that organization. Okay, so a computer operator might also replace failed hard drives, etc. And that also is to prevent any data loss. So ultimately, their role is to protect the integrity of the organization's data in that server room, because that server room houses everything pertaining to that organization. So you can see that's quite a important role. And then last, we look at the postmaster. Okay, so postmaster administers the organization's mail server. Excuse me. They manage all the email accounts and addresses, and they also ensure that if there's any issues pertaining to email accounts, that you can't access your email, etc., that would be your go-to person to help you sort that problem. They are also responsible for making sure that there's smooth communication within the organization, and that's making sure that your emails are functioning perfectly fine. Okay. Are there any questions on this slide pertaining to other administrative systems?
Hi, Marilyn. Sorry.
Hi.
Can we just test to see if everyone can hear us by showing thumbs up, please?
Yes,
I've got
I think
two people just having some problems hearing.
okay. No problem.
So guys, if you can hear the lecture and it's loud and clear, please just give us thumbs. Okay, so the lectures are loud and clear. Thank you for that, guys. Thank you, Marilyn. I'll check why the other guys can't get in.
Okay, perfect. And sorry again, this is also being recorded, so shame if they're battling, they mustn't stress. We will have this recording available to them. Okay.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. If I can just click on that. Okay, so now we're going to go deeper into the duties of a system administrator. Okay, so what are the duties of a system administrator? They are responsible for keeping an organization's IT systems running smoothly. Okay, their role is essential for ensuring that the stability, security, and performance of computer systems and networks. Okay, so if you look at it, you can see that this is quite a big role to fill, and it doesn't just mean that there's one aspect that they have to deal with. It's quite a bit, and you can imagine if you're not somebody that's into IT, etc., this can be overwhelming. So let's dig a bit deeper into what these key responsibilities are. I think we can show a much more appreciation for this role when we look at what they actually do. So a system, what their key responsibilities are, and I'm just going to go down through them very briefly. They have system monitoring and maintenance. Okay. That is analyzing system logs, which is regularly reviewing logs to identify and fix potential issues. Okay. They perform routine audits, which is checking systems and software to ensure everything is working as expected. Okay. System updates and backups. They're applying updates and patches, meaning that they keeping operating systems and software up to date to protect against any vulnerabilities. Again, I spoke about, where you have malware, etc., that, affects your computers, or you can affect a system, and that this person is responsible for ensuring that constant updates are there, done. They are checking to make sure that there isn't any hackers, all of that. Performing backups, ensuring critical data is backed up regularly, okay, and can be restored if needed. So sometimes you have a situation where information is lost, and you need to find to restore it. They would be the person that would try and help you to get this information. Okay, you also have them looking at the hardware and software, so that's installing and configuring new systems. They set up new hardware and ensure that the software meets the organization's needs. Okay. System integration, they also ensure that they introduce new technologies into the existing infrastructure. So they're making sure that we're not left behind. We are always up to date, keeping up with new technology, etc., that's coming out. If you look at user account management, they add new people, or so they add, remove, or update accounts. So they manage user accounts, they reset passwords, and they also control access. So this person allows you will be the person to allow you access. For example, if you're in the payroll department and you need access to payroll information, but there's only specific information needed. If you, for example, a payroll admin person may not have access to, if they are specifically just working with capturing data of new employees, they may not have information of salaries, for example. This person would make sure that there is the correct system access there. They also are responsible for troubleshooting and technical support. So, answering any technical queries, they provide support on technical issues, they diagnose and resolve problems. And if there's any network problems as well, this would be the person that you go to. They also have quite a bit of security responsibilities. Okay, they are always ensuring that the system security or appliances security measures like firewalls and access controls to protect sensitive data. They also ensure that documenting system configuration. So what that means is that they are keeping records of system settings and changes for future reference. And in performance optimization, they are always ensuring that the systems are performing at the best to ensure that there's efficient operation. So if there's any lag in the system, etc., your system administrator would be the person to go to assist you. Sometimes you have your laptop is a bit slow, or certain apps on your computer is not functioning the way it was before. Maybe it just needs an update. Your system administrator would be the best person to help you with that sort of thing. And then network maintenance, they ensure that they are constantly, keeping the network infrastructure, including the servers and connections, up and running at all times. They make sure that there's no downtimes, meaning that when there's a cut in, with your internet, etc., in an organization, that could affect the business quite, negatively. So your system administrator is always on top of things to make sure that all those network infrastructures are in place and running at all times. Okay, are there any questions on duties of a system administrator? I know there was quite a lot to take in for the first lesson plan. But if there are any questions, I would like to open up the floor now. Any questions, clarity? Anyone would like to share anything from their experiences with what we've gone through in lesson plan 1? Okay. Sorry, so again, I just want to make sure that everybody can still hear me. Okay, I think everyone can still hear me, so let's move on to lesson plan 2. Okay, so lesson plan 2 is quite in-depth. Here we are looking at develop and update administrative systems in a specific business environment. Okay, so this is going to be quite an intense lesson plan. It has, it's basically looking at, a project plan and how we're going to go through that. Okay, let's look at the assessment criteria. The administrative requirements are identified to meet the specific needs of the selective business organization. The identified administrative systems are developed in accordance with the organizational and legal requirements. The administrative systems and procedures identified are presented to management and staff for approval, and feedback is obtained from management and staff regarding the suitability of the systems on specifically designed feedback forms. Okay, so that is your assessment criteria for this lesson plan 2, or your module 2 for this unit standard. Okay. If we look at the various phases in developing and updating administrative systems, we've got the planning phase, we have the analysis phase, prototype phase, design phase, construction phase, training phase, and then finally we have implementation phase. What I'm going to do now next, we're going to go through each of these phases in detail. I'm going to explain what are the purpose of these phases are and how you would go about initiating this phase. So when we look at the planning phase, okay, your planning phase is laying the foundation for a successful administrative system, okay? Your planning phase would, I would say in this situation, would be your most critical stage of any administrative computing system project, okay? This phase ensures clarity, alignment with organizational goals, as well as it provides you with a roadmap for successful implementation. Below are the key steps, okay, that we're going to go through now in terms of the considerations that would guide you in your planning process. You would first have to develop a project document, okay? A project document is a high-level blueprint that answers, excuse me, answers fundamental questions and defines the project's objectives. Okay, so if you look at what would be the areas that you would have to address, you'd need to look at your business problem. Okay, so if we look at the project initiate, you've got develop versus buy decision. Okay, what sort of, business problem do we have, or is it an opportunity? Okay, what problem are we solving, or what opportunity are we addressing? So those are the sort of questions we need to be asking ourselves from, collectively as a business, what in terms of the need of this system. If it's an existing system, if we have an existing system in place, where does it fall short, and what are its strengths? And we have to look at that. In this scenario here, we are looking at a university. So you'll find that throughout the training or your learner guide, you'd have various examples of, we use a law firm in lesson plan 1. In lesson plan 2, we are referring to a university. So this is just to give you perspective, on how to relate this information. So what sort of stakeholder identification? Just going back to project initiation, what is the benefits of a new system? Is there an advantage to have a new system? Are we going to, benefit from that in the sense of, rolling this out to the entire business? Or, if we have an existing system, do we just tweak it a bit and, optimize it so to meet the needs of the business at that stage? What sort of procedural improvements might occur during this phase? So you can see there's quite a lot of questions that will need to be asked before we actually delve straight into this project. Okay, we also have to look at the compatibility and how we can reuse it. So are the other systems performing similar functions or processing similar data? You also don't want a repetition of various systems in an organization. You need to have a system that can do many different things, but not duplication of work, if I can say that. You find, for example, in a payroll and HR team, they will have one system that they use because it houses payroll information and HR information, which is often linked. It wouldn't make sense if you have a completely separate system for HR and a completely separate system for payroll, whereas there could just be one where you could, integrate all that information. And then you have to also look at, if there is, parts of the old system that can be salvaged or integrated. So if you currently have a system in place, do we just want to cut it out completely, get rid of it, or can we salvage some parts of that system and integrate that into something new? And then if you look at the success factor, what are the department's success factors or critical success factors? How does the new system align with these factors? Often and not in organizations, you have different various departments that could grow at a rapid pace because due to the needs of the business. So again, if you look at a department that has you opening up a new sales team or a sales department, and you've got 15 new employees that joined that department, you are scaling up in that department. So does your current system suit the needs of that department at that time? Do we have to now get a new system, or can we look at the current system in place to integrate it, make it a bit better, so that the performance of that department will not be hindered in any way? Okay, so if you look at the stakeholder identification, you identify the primary stakeholders. So these are the key players who will influence or are affected by this project. Okay, so you identify them early enough to ensure that you can secure the support needed and you understand the requirements of that department. And then funding authorities. So who is likely to fund the project? You've got your primary and secondary users who will directly use the system. So is it employees specifically, and who will indirectly benefit from this? And more often than not, it would be your clients or other departments. So you'd have to ask those questions as well. And you'd also have to look at the policy and business experts. So will there be any policies that will be affected by the system? Who defines the business rules and ensures compliance? And then you'd also have to look at the impacted departments. So which departments or external organizations will the project affect? So quite a lot of things that you'd have to consider in this space here, okay? And then defining your system scope. So now you begin defining the system scope, okay? Your system scope document outlines what the system will and will not do. This document will evolve, as the project progresses. So it's not just a once-off implementation of this document. It's a working document that you're going to constantly go back, review. You're going to analyze it over and over again based on your constant debates or with different stakeholders about the efficiency of this system. Sorry, please may I ask everyone to be muted, and if you have a question, I'm happy for you to put your hand up and unmute yourself to ask the question. Sorry, do you have a question? Okay, thank you. So with your system scope, you're going to start defining that. Your initial considerations for the project would be you'd have your business problem. Okay, so you clearly define the problem to be solved, and then you include and exclude functions. So what that means is that what business functions will the system address? What functions will be intentionally excluded, okay? So you can see that you'd have to work on the pros and cons of this. So it's not just something that's going to be for everything. It needs to be specific to the most important issues that need to be addressed. Then you're going to look at identifying or re-engineering opportunities. You identify chances to redesign workflows for efficiency, okay? Security requirements, you define necessary security protocols to protect that data. Again, when you're working with any sort of system, there's always going to be important information or data in that. So you have to ensure that the integrity of this system will be like first and foremost the most important thing that needs to be considered. Okay. Then you're going to look at your time frame and resources. Okay, so you estimate the timeline, your resource requirements, and also very important, a budget. Okay, because you can't just go in, wanting to put a system in place without having worked on a budget. Okay, it's not something that is, most organizations work on budgets. There's no open budget for especially something like this. Otherwise, costs can get a bit out of hand. And then you also have to look at your risk and mitigation. Okay, when you're defining your system scope, you identify potential obstacles, for example, staff resistance, technical challenges. You have sometimes in organizations, employees are not always open to new innovative systems, especially if they are very, used to working with, hard copies of paper. They like to do things manually, so that could be seen as a bit of a resistance. And in technical challenges, when you're constantly working on the system, but you're having technical issues, so that could also be an issue to take into consideration when you're defining your system scope. Okay, and then you've got your you also have to ensure that you're proposing mitigating action. So if you're identifying the problem, you must identify or look at a solution for that. So those are actions to mitigate any of the risks that we just spoke about now. So staff resistance and technical challenges. Then if we look at the cost benefit analysis, that's making sure that you justify the project by balancing the costs against any anticipated benefits. Okay, so most of the time you have a situation where these systems come into place, but it may not be, how can I say, effective for the organization in the long run. Maybe just it was poor planning. So you can see that this planning phase is crucial in ensuring that you have the best or the most appropriate system in your organization to avoid failure in the system not working for that organization or that department. Okay. Then if you look at your sponsor, so project sponsor, you identify a sponsor for the project. Okay. The project sponsor ensures that the project stays on track by providing resources and leadership. Okay. If you look at their responsibilities, they approve the project scope, they secure the requested budget, okay, act as a liaison with external stakeholders, and they define the project governance and oversee progress. So this is basically, you can call it your project manager. They are making sure that this project runs smoothly, that they are the go-to person in the event that you need to make sure that if there's any issues, etc., you would go to them. So they are the administrative person for this project. If you look at the project team composition, you've got now the project manager that oversees the core team and ensures milestones are met. Okay, it's very, very important to ensure that you have a strong project team. It is critical for the execution of this project. Okay, so team members should also bring diverse skills and expertise. So when you are putting a team together, you're putting all the necessary people that have the required skill to perform their role in this project. Okay, so you have business experts as well. They provide requirements, they test the system, they define, training needs. You've got a system architect, offers technical oversight and ensures system compatibility. You've got a quality assurance specialist. They monitor the quality throughout the project. You've also got software developers. They analyze, they design, and build the actual system. Okay. And then you've got consultants. If there's a need for that, consultants often provide, more specialized expertise. For example, if you have to process re-engineering, etc., you often would get a consultant to come in to fulfill that role. And then if you look at the last bit of it, the project planning team. So this is now your initial project plan. So they would be the people or the team to put this initial project plan together. Okay, so the project plan serves as a roadmap. And what that does is it provides you with the timelines, the resource allocation, it provides you with the budget details. So everything pertaining to this project is in that plan. And if you look at just to highlight a few critical milestones here, you've got the project stages, which is your design development, your testing and your implementation. All of that is in your project plan. You also have your resource plan, which you assign your responsibilities and you allocate your resources. And you also have the budgets, your budget constraints, where you ensure that there's financial feasibility by aligning your costs with the available funds. So again, you've got a budget, you have to make sure that you are aligning your cost with that budget. And again, a lot of projects allow for a little bit of, spillage over, but not too much. Again, it's always important that when you're in this project, you adhere to the budget, but also ensure that you don't compromise on the quality of the project and the process going forward. Okay, are there any questions relating to the planning phase? Okay, perfect. Before I go through to the analysis phase, I'm going to just pause for a quick 10-minute comfort break. I think the time now is, 1 minute past 10. Okay, so if we can just come back at around 10 past 10, and then we'll continue through to the next slide, which is our analysis phase. Okay, so I'll see you all back in about 10 minutes. Thank you.